Buddy, it's Thursday, September 17th. Probably can't see me very good, about 6 o'clock in the morning. Got a little frost this morning. I'll show you here on the car here. Got down to like 31, 32 degrees, so not super cold, but winter's definitely giving us a little warning. So anyway, today probably do some more chopping. I have to go up. I started here. Let me turn this around again. We finished off that first field we were on. That was a couple acres, and then I started on another field, just a little piece in the woods. I was gonna finish off that wagon, but I got in there and there was a tree down. It was starting to get dark and that anyway, and I had a couple things to finish at home, so I got to run up there this morning with the chainsaw and cut that up, and then go from there. I'm just finishing up chores now, graining calves and stuff, so that's what's going on for today. Hey everybody, we're on day 3 of chopping today. I mentioned earlier I got a tree up there on that one field I got to cut down before I can get around there. I haven't done that yet, but I'm actually going to do something a little different. We're back at the manure fiasco here, and what I want to do, supposed to be getting that transition pipe that I need, supposed to be in sometime this week. So we haven't had any rain now for quite a while, and they're not talking any rain, and I've noticed the water in this hole that we've had dug is here, let me turn this around. The water in this hole has gone down on its own now. You can't really see it along the edge, but about a good 6 inches probably, but there's a lot of water in here yet. But with it going down, it's telling me that it's not running in from the sides anymore, and we're not supposed to be getting any rain. So I want to get this water pumped out of here so the mud can start to firm up. So once I get the pipe and the transition piece here, we can start putting it together and have a dry place to work. So I'm going to try to get that done this morning before I go up and do any more chopping. Alright, we're pumping. I don't know how well you can see in the jungle there, but water's flowing. I got the pump. You can kind of see it down there. I got it hung on this beam here, and I'm just standing on it to keep it off the bottom. I got it hung up on here to keep it off so it's not sucking up all the mud and stuff. But this pump, I bought this. It's a 2-inch sump pump. It's supposed to be for like a septic system, and I bought it when this thing first broke down. My intention was to use it to pump the water out of the gutter when we were cleaning by hand. It didn't really work that good for that, but boy, I tell you, I'm glad I got it because it works pretty good out here. Moves a lot of water. It's already dropped it, probably 2 inches. I got a nice frog habitat going on back here, that's for sure. Alright, well, I didn't get all the water out of there yet. I'm going to need a little help to get the rest out, so I can hold the pump down there while somebody plugs it in. But it was up to about right here where my foot is, and now it's all the way down to there. So that's a big bunch of water, and actually it'd probably be good to leave it sit now for the day and let some of that sides kind of run back in, and then I can pump it out again. You always get the quicksand, but there's the pipe there yet, so that didn't get covered. I was worried that might silt in and cover over the top of it, but it didn't, so that's good. we're up here in this little patch in the woods here. There's the tree that I'm gonna cut down. I was noticing inside there, I'm gonna go walk in the field a little bit. When I came over here last night, I seen some corn down on the end. I figured it was just with the tree knocked down, but then when I went in here, it looked more like maybe some bear had been in here. Hasn't been for a while, but those bears, they'll sit down in one spot and then they'll just pull the corn in to them. But another spot over there, must have been in feasting a little bit. I imagine there's probably some other ones too. If they had one spot, they usually pick a few. But anyway, I'm gonna get this tree out of here and grease up the chopper and start chopping. Got that tree cut out of the way. Got the tractor fired up. Let that warm up. I'm gonna grease the chopper, check everything over. I thought I would take a couple minutes here and kind of run through what we're doing and kind of how this works for those of you watching who don't understand what we're doing. I know there's a lot of people out there, a lot of farmers that watch that know exactly what I'm doing, but for those who don't, I'll kind of go over it. Now what we're doing, we're making corn silage. So let's see, we'll go into corn a little bit here. Now what we're doing is we're taking the whole plant. The chopper there cuts it off and processes the whole corn plant. Now where if you're going to combine corn, you would be taking just the kernels off, and then the combine would come through, pop the ear off the stalk, take all the kernels off, and then take the kernels off the ear and throw the cob and whatever trash out the back. We're taking the whole plant. That chops it up, puts it in the wagon, and then we put it in. We use it upright silos, cement silos. Oh, and I probably will also be using an ag bag. We'll kind of get into that later. I think I'm going to have more corn than fits in our silos. But what that does, you blow it in there. You want to have it at a certain moisture. Depending on what you're doing for the silos, I like to be that 50-60%. I haven't tested this, but just from judging kind of how it feels and stuff, I think I'm right around there. Anyway, and then blow it in there. I put an inoculant with it. It kind of helps preserve it, lets it ferment, turns it into corn silage. The fermenting process just helps preserve it. Helps it to kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, but preserve it, I guess, and just preserve the nutrients and everything. It makes really good feed, and it's a big portion of feed for the cows. Especially if you get years where you're low on hay, like last year. I had a lot of corn silage, which I was glad for because we ran out of hay early, and it really saved me on amount of hay I would have had to buy otherwise. But anyway, we'll go through the chopper here a little bit. So we'll start here. This is powered by the Trapetio on the tractor, the power takeoff. I've got it unhooked now, so I can kind of work around this thing and I don't have to worry about it coming on. This is a 2-row, takes 2 rows at a time, cuts them off. It's got a set of these cutting discs on each side. They spin and the plant goes in, it gets cut off, and these gathering chains, they move together and they pull it up into that spiky roller there. They call a feed roller. This turns, there's one underneath, and then there's another set on the back. And they do 2 things. They pull it in to the knives, and they also hold it in place so the knives can cut it without just sucking the whole stalk through. This knife drum, this has 12 knives on it, and this spins really fast. And then there's a stationary cutter bar down on the other side that's got a straight edge on it. So the corn, as it's coming through there, and those rollers are feeding it in at a certain speed, and you can change that speed depending on how finely you want it. There goes my phone dinging at me. Anyway, so then this spins and it blows it through into this auger across the back. this augers it over into the blower there, and that blower has paddles that spin, blows it up through the chute and then into your wagon. So that's just kind of how that works. Like I said, it chops it up. You want it chopped up nice and fine. I mean, you want it fine, you don't really necessarily want it too fine, just because it's a little coarser. I think it's easier for the cows to go through the cows to digest. But like my old chopper chopped really long, or I should say really long, at least compared to this. So I had a lot of the leaves that were full length, and bigger chunks of the cob, which wasn't good. It doesn't pack as well, and then the cows they don't eat that even. They just push it to the side. Where this, you can see in here, the leaves are nice and chopped up. No big huge chunks of cob or anything. That allows it to pack a lot better in the silo, because the upright silos, they rely on gravity to pack and the weight of the silage. Like the ag bags, those, you can set the pressure when you're filling them and they pack it in as tight as you want. And like a pile, you would just drive over it and keep packing it down with the tractor or whatever. So anyway, that's one reason I like it a little finer. And then like I said, the other reason, the cows, they clean it up better. I don't have a kernel processor on this. I kind of wish I did, but that's another reason I kind of watch the moisture, because the kernels, they get a kernel processor is like a set of rollers back here with grooves on them, and this would throw it into those. Those would run through, and they would crush these kernels all up, so the cows can get at more of the energy, the starch inside. So you don't want it to get, see, like these, they break open pretty easy yet. Still not as good as if they had gone through a processor, but the cows can still digest that. If you get a kernel that's fully ripe, is all hard, the cow's not going to get nearly as much out of that. So that's kind of another factor. What I try to watch is how hard the kernels are getting. But anyway, that's kind of a run over the chopper. I'm going to get it greased up now and do some chopping. Got this piece done. Field looks a lot bigger in the camera than what it is. That's only, I think, a little over an acre, but got a couple loads off of this piece anyway. This field's kind of about the south half of it is really, really good corn. Gets the moisture it needs, gets a lot of heat in here because it's all in the trees. But then you get up on the hill over here, it's real sandy. That corn is more dry, shorter. So it makes a nice mix in there anyway, kind of evens out. But that's 2 loads, so that everything helps. So now I'm gonna probably try to open up this other piece here that borders that state land and finish off this wagon. And I got one more. I got that little red wagon I can fill before I have to unload any. So, all right, that's what we're doing now. All right, I come and opened up this other field, and I got over there where the wagon is. Where is it? There we go. I had more in there, I guess, than I thought off that little piece, so it was heavier than I thought, and I couldn't pull that hill spun out with the tractor, so I had to unhook the wagon there. Chopped my way out to the end. It wasn't too far. So now I either got to maybe get the 1066. I could probably pull it straight up with that because that's got the duals on. Otherwise, I might go grab that smaller box and just chop around it and get this opened up, so then I got room. I can just turn it around then. But anyway, that's what happened there. I should have just went and got an empty wagon and started, but I didn't think I was that heavy, but that's how it goes, I guess. I got chopped around it there. I ran a little corn down. I don't like doing that, but do what you got to do. I could have got the 1066 and probably pulled it up, but if I take the time, go get that, hook it up, and I still can't make it, then I'm in the same boat anyway. This way now I can chop and get it opened up, and then I can just back it down the hill. It's not far to the bottom, and then I can just turn it around. So I think that'll work better. All right, I got that load filled up. So now I'm going to head back and unhook this one, probably bring the feeder wagon up and chop a load for the cows. And then I think if I get another wagon emptied, I can make a few more rounds. I'll have enough room, then I can get that other wagon out of there without any trouble. So I'm just gonna head back now, maybe grab a bite to eat, swap wagons, and bring that feeder wagon up and chop a load in there. All right, gonna unload a load here. Check the oil in this big case. Looks good. Get that fired up, let that warm up, and then I'll go up and climb up the outside and look in there and see how we're filling in there, if I need to adjust that fill pipe at all, or how that's going. So we'll start this thing first and let this get warmed up good. There we go. Alright, we're getting a nice pile in there now. I'm gonna crank that downspout over towards the wall a little bit now, because as it gets fuller, it'll gradually move this way anyway, so because it doesn't blow in from the center, so move it out closer towards the doors there, I think now. I mentioned it before, but to adjust this, just got two cranks here. This one here, that one there, you can back up and then you tighten this one on the other side and it pulls that rod down and lifts the end up, or you just go the other way to set it down. The silo by the barn, that's got a lot newer distributor on it. That one just has a lever, you just pull, you can raise it up and down. It's got a cable that runs up from the ground. Alright, we got it unstuck. I didn't get any footage of pulling it out because I was trying to kind of watch other stuff, but it was kind of dark. You couldn't really see very well over there anyway, but backed it down a little bit and kind of seesawed it back and forth and got it around and got it out. So we'll go unload that and we'll call that good for tonight. Last load of the night.